Coming at you live. Hey, it's Vaughn with Spirit of Health. We're doing a Facebook Live Q&A. This is in honor of our amazing children. We have three. My beautiful wife, Jen. And we have three children. We have a 5-year-old, a 3-year-old, and a 1-year-old. Our health fair coming up June 8th and 9th is all about children's health. We're so pumped. Not only going to be fun, and we're going to have skits and music and dancing and a petting zoo and a bounce house, but we're doing all-day education seminars on Friday, 9 different topics related to children's health. You guys all got to come to the health fair. It's going to be amazing. We'll record them all for people who can't be there, who aren't here in Kansas City. But this Q&A is on children's health, and really kind of wanted to focus on like common remedies for children's health issues. So we have 3 children. They were all born at home. Not one of our children has ever set foot in a hospital. Not that I don't think that hospitals aren't okay for certain emergencies and things like that, but praise God, we haven't had any broken limbs or anything like that. But I do believe we need to get away from hospitals. They're dangerous. There's a lot of bad things happening there. And we shouldn't need to. We shouldn't need to go to the hospital if we knew how to take care of our children, if we knew how to feed them right and give them healthy, nutritious food, and how to deal with sicknesses and things that are simple and common and not have to run to the doctor for everything. So again, I'm not against going to the doctor if it's necessary, but we have 3 children. None of them have even been to a doctor, to a hospital, to a pediatrician, none of that. And our desire is to keep it that way because we want our children to be healthy and we want to trust God for everything that we do and the things that He gave us and not have to trust and run to men unless it's absolutely critical emergency. So I'm going to start with, this is kind of ironic actually that this question is first, but Deanna Evans just said tick bites. And Terry Meath just said tick bites. Miria Worthen took it a little bit farther. She said fire, ant bites, and high fevers. Cheryl Labor said, yes, tick bites. So clearly tick bites is a big issue. And let me tell you why this is so ironic. My wife literally just texted me as this was starting saying, Naomi has a big tick. Will you please come home and take it off? Ooh, it's wiggling. You know, so I grew up with ticks. I mean, I grew up in the Midwest, and there's just ticks. Like, that's just life. But I understand now there's a big fear over Lyme disease. It's a real thing. I did a class on Lyme disease, explained what it is. I believe it's a man-made disease designed by man for very horrific intentions to hurt people. However, the reality is it's real, and I understand tick bites are a concern for people. So I'm going to tell you what we do. And what I've learned, and I've kind of researched and studied this, but again, research it for yourself. But what I have found is that you do not want to do anything to try to force the tick to pull out on its own. So people use the match, like a light or heat. People use oils. People use all kinds of different things to make the tick pull out. My understanding is that if you just like us, if you freak out yourself or an animal, what it's going to do, it's going to strike, just like a snake will. And so I have read that there's research that when you try to do these methods, it actually forces, or the reaction by the tick is to shoot the poison and the toxins and the venom into the person. And so the method I use, which is what we did growing up, is if you had a tick, you got a pair of tweezers, you got as close to the skin and the head as possible, you squeeze it and yank. And that's it. You just pull the whole thing out, the head out. And I tell you what, I do that on my kids, and 9 times out of 10, and I'd say it's almost 100%, that tick is crawling around in my hand. Which means that we got the tick out, the head out. Hopefully it didn't secrete a bunch of poison in there, but I don't want to scare him or freak him out and force him to shoot all that poison in. So we just grab him, yank him, squeeze him, kill him, throw him down the toilet, whatever you want to do to get rid of him. So that's what we do for ticks. Then what we do is we take our black drawing salve, and I put a little splotch of that where the tick bite was and a little Band-Aid, and I tell the girls that it's really important to do that because you want to get any toxins or poisons out of the body. So the source of where the puncture was, like with the tick, is the same source you can pull and draw the toxins out. So if you put a drawing salve over that with a Band-Aid and do that for a couple of days, it'll pull the toxins out. Now I can tell you, I know it's doing something because we've just had a few ticks recently, and Naomi, I put the black salve on, put a Band-Aid the next day, the Band-Aid came off, that whole area around there was puffy and swollen. So what that tells me is that drawing salve was working and it was pulling toxins and poisons out of that area. So I applied another little bit of black salve and another Band-Aid. So again, we want to draw the toxins and the poisons out. Okay, so hopefully that answers your tick bite questions. A lot of questions on fevers. Miria Worthen asked about fevers. Katie Wood said super high fevers. I'm sure there was somebody else that said fevers. It's such a common thing. Okay, so I'm going to tell you where we're at on fevers. I've talked about this in videos in the past, but we believe God's design is good. Everything that the body does is designed by God to happen. Are we trusting God and how he designed the body and the natural fever that comes with the body trying to kill and fight and remove infections from the body? Or are we scared of how God designed the body and we think something's wrong and we need to run to the doctor or the worst you could do is give a kid Tylenol or aspirin or whatever kind of drugs we do to suppress these fevers. So you're working against God's design of the human body. Now, can there be dangerous levels of fevers? Sure, there can. And there are those few cases out there. Now, don't let a few cases drive you into fear because millions and millions and millions of kids every day get fevers and they're fine. Our 3-year-old Noelle got the flu and she had a fever of about 103 and she laid on the couch for 3 days and she barely ate and she barely moved and I made sure she got some liquids and she was hydrated, but we left her alone. She was perfectly fine. You don't have to do anything. Just let God / nature / the body do what he designed it to do. And so you really don't have to do much of anything. Now, if you're getting up in the 105, 106 range, let's cool the child off. Let's get some cold, wet rags and dampen it. Ginger will bring down a fever, so you can make ginger tea and dip a cloth in the ginger tea and pat that on your child or give them a bath with some ginger. That'll break it down. What Hippocrates used to break fevers was an enema. So if you're really worried about a high fever, you can give the child a little enema, a little fleet enema, and a lot of times that'll help break a fever. So there are a couple things you can do if you feel like it's getting to dangerous levels. But if you're 101, 102, that's nothing. 103, if you're getting 104, 105, keep an eye on it. And if it's getting up beyond that, like I said, do something to kind of cool off. Enema, ginger tea, there's things you can do. But we should not be stopping these fevers. They're God's creation, God's design. Tons of research out there that says if you allow your child to go through the normal processes of sickness, disease, fevers, those children are always stronger, they're more resilient, their immune system's stronger, they're less resistant to cancer and other diseases as they get older, and I absolutely believe that. Again, this is trusting God's natural processes of how the human body works. Natural remedies for the medicine cabinet. See, yeah, usually I grab some products and stuff. I didn't do that. I should have grabbed the little black salve that we have by Dottie. What's her company? Smoky Hills Farm. Yeah, Smoky Hills. Natural remedies for the medicine cabinet. Oh my gosh, I should have brought our medicine cabinet. That would have been great. We have iodine. Always keep iodine on hand. Black salve, keep that on hand. Comfrey salve, which we have one called a healing salve. Always have that. It's a wound healer extraordinaire. Olive gold stuff is miraculous. So always have olive gold on hand. It's ozonated olive oil. It'll knock out a burn like that. Bentonite clay is a great thing to have in your herbal medicine cabinet. Herbal formulas that are natural, like antihistamines or for allergies, are good. So we use one called Focus by BioRay. That's the kids version called Focus. The adult version is called Loving Energy. We've given that to our kids before when they started breaking out and it looked like some kind of a hive allergic reaction. We gave them that and boop, it just went away like that. So yeah, you definitely want to have herbs and a lot of natural things in your medicine cabinet, because we don't need drugs. We don't need any man-made, chemical-made thing that comes out of a factory. You just don't need it. So we need to find natural alternatives to it. And bug bites, like I said, we just use olive gold. We use oregano oil. It's great for mosquito bites and chiggers and stuff like that. So anytime I get bit by one of those critters, I just use a little drop of oregano oil on it. It takes the sting out right away, and it heals faster. So God's given us plenty of tools to use. We just kind of forgotten about them. Eczema was mentioned. Eczema is a just a toxic blood condition. It's the child's congested. You just need to cleanse. Diet change, cleansing the lymphatic system, getting dairy, grains, sugars, all the things that congest the lymph out of the diet. Usually eczema will clear up. Constipation, that's a big one. I think just doing a non-constipating diet is obviously part of it. Doing dairy and grains and lots of meat and sugars, those are very constipating foods. Fruits and vegetables, high water content, hydrating foods. Increase the fruit content if your child's constipated. We have a formula called Pooper, and it's by BioRay, and the Pooper you can give to a child to kind of help their bowels move. And obviously people have heard of prunes and prune juice and stuff like that. But really it's usually just diet. It's if you're dehydrated, say you're eating bread, crackers, white bread, flours, those are like, those are constipating things that absorb water. You need things that like hydrate. So that's apples and oranges and berries. And we used to joke about how you never see a constipated bear because they eat lots of berries. People think they eat fish. Less than 10% of their diet's protein. Okay, bears eat leaves and greens and lots of berries. I learned that when I went to Canada, and like the bears would get to the berries before we could pick them. I mean, it's like their favorite food. All right, let's see. Are there any questions or anything online, or should I just keep going here?
Not so far. Susie Dixon says hi. Hi, Susie.
Hi, Susie. Children's supplements and preventative care and food. That's Claire Rivera. Okay, at the health fair, I'm going to do my top 5 supplements for children, and you can put all 5 of these things in a smoothie, and it'll take you all of 30 seconds. And you can help the child be healthier and smarter and have all the things that they need. And so I'm going to probably hit that at the health fair. I'm going to tell you what some of those things are. One is a good greens formula, Alalife Greens, a good mineral supplement. So I like the ocean minerals. I like using superfood blends. So Dr. Morse has a couple cool superfood blends that you can just easily throw in any smoothie that's got a lot of good greens and different things in it. So like I said, I'll give you an idea for that, and I'll give you a smoothie that'll taste really good. Let's see. Cheryl Labor said tick bites, children's supplements. I roughly mentioned that. Colds and fevers, I kind of hit on that. I've wondered how safe our children are being around smartphones and devices. Any info on that would be helpful. I agree. We forget sometimes. But we try to turn our Wi-Fi off at night. You don't need it on at night. So turn off your Wi-Fi at night. It's one thing you can do. We have a, I can't remember what that thing's called. It's called a Tesla. It's like a Hedron harmonizer. But anyway, it's this thing that sends out these signals that kind of protects your body from all the EMFs. They're pretty big right now. We actually have them on our website. I just haven't got super into it. But we have one in our house, and I have one here at the office for the staff. And so it'll actually protect your body, protect your cells from the damaging effects of EMFs. So I do believe EMFs are a problem. We can't worry and freak out about everything, but I do think you can turn off your phones and your electronics at night, and I do believe that you can unplug your Wi-Fi at night, especially the Wi-Fi at night. Wi-Fi, they're talking about Wi-Fi being like the next smoking, the next big thing that causes all kinds of brain tumors and sickness and disease, and nobody even knows about it right now or believes in it. It's hard to believe in what you can't see, right? So I do think it's an issue. All right, Brittany Ortega or Ortegal. Strep throat pneumonia, pink eye, teething remedies. Unfortunately, these are all things we dealt with in our first year with our daughter. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, that's a lot. A lot of kids these days are just struggling with a lot of issues. She does go to daycare. We know exposure has something to do with it, sure. Our second is on the way. We want to be better prepared and know how to handle these things at home rather than running to the doctor. Great. So that's good. So pink eye. Pink eye is pretty simple. It's a viral condition, conjunctivitis, a little colloidal silver in the eye. So that's something we always have at home too, is colloidal silver. Boop, boop. A couple drops in each eye, boom, knocks out pink eye. Don't have to worry about it. Super easy. I don't know if I've ever seen it not work. I think it's like 100%. So colloidal silver in the eye knocks out pink eye. Teething remedies, we had a lot of good luck with the amber necklaces. So you can buy an amber necklace. A lot of times the children are calcium deficient. This is a big deal. So the Superfood Blend 3 by Dr. Morse has high calcium. By Dr. Christopher, getting my doctors mixed up. Dr. Christopher has a product called Kitty Cal, and so you give it to the child, and it's herbal calcium, and it'll help them with the teething. The teeth will come in faster, the pain will be less, because a lot of times they're calcium deficient, and they're trying to create all these teeth, and they don't have the calcium. And a lot of times it's because the mom's deficient, therefore the babies are deficient. So sometimes you have to help the babies with more calcium when they're teething. The other thing we've done is just clove oil, like on the gums or on the teeth. So those are little things we found have helped. Serious infectious issues, strep throat, pneumonia. We have a spray that's really strong. It's called Protect. It'll knock out anything. I've used it on 2, 3, 4, 5-year-olds. 1-year-old, that's pretty young. It's a pretty strong formula. A lot of those issues, unfortunately, are from congested systems, weak immune systems. Obviously, you want to get out in the sun every day. So if you want to have your child and do it better this next time, get your child in the sun as much as possible when they're young. That's what builds and strengthens their immune system. That's what kills infections. Lots of heat stimulate a fever. So if a young child is sick, you want to get lots of blankets on them and lots of heat to help their body heat up. That'll kill the infection. That's what helps kill the infection. You could do some herbal formulas on little tiny kids. You just they're so little. You just don't want to do too much. But we do have some children's. What's that one called? It's I can't remember. It's got like echinacea and myrrh in it. And so there's a lot of good like antibacterial, antiviral kids formulas in a liquid tincture form that you can give it to the kids right in their mouth. And even in the first year, I mean, our boy is 13 months, Nathan. I joke how he's kind of like a little bird in the bird nest, and he's like, tweet, tweet. Because our girls take their medicine, they take their drops, and here comes our little 13-month-old, and he's just like, he just wants to be like the girls, and he wants to take his stuff. And I mean, I give him a lymphatic system formula that's like, it's like lymph herbs, or like strong herbs, and he takes it like a champion. So he doesn't know any different. But anyway, so you can give little tiny babies herbs. You can give them herbs that are antibacterial. There's Kick It Biotic. There's all kinds of great natural antibiotic herbs that you could give even to little ones, especially like echinacea and things like that are pretty safe. Giving lots of high dose oregano to a 1-year-old it's too strong. And you don't want them to be miserable or be painful or uncomfortable or something like that. So, but there are things you can do. Sprains and Maria says sprains and broken bones. Yeah, broken bones, I mean, that's a thing we haven't experienced yet, praise God, and I do need a doctor for that. I don't know how to set a broken bone. So I do want to have emergency clinics and different ways to help with that, but you can strengthen children. We're calcium deficient. You can do herbal calcium formulas. You can do bone and connective tissue formulas. Dr. Morse has a bone and connective tissue formula. You can do collagen and different formulas, different things that strengthen the connective tissues. So I would definitely do that. Our children are being born weak. So, yes, is there a question?
Okay, yeah, we have a few questions. So, Karen wants to know, what is the name of the EMF protector?
I'd have to look it up. It's on our website. I know it's called a Tesla, but I have a feeling it has another name.
So like the Hedron or something?
Hedron. Hedron harmonizer, is that what it is?
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's the Tesla Hedron harmonizer. But look on her website. I'm sure you can find it.
Yeah, so that was Karen's question. And then we had a question from Chris and Elise Regan.
Love you guys.
They said, do you recommend a parasite cleanse for children under 5?
Yeah, so I can actually send this to you guys, Chris and Elise. I do have a children's parasite cleanse, and it's really simple. It's the Dr. Christopher Herbal Parasite Syrup. It's diatomaceous earth, and it's this other parasite formula. And you mix them all together, and the Dr. Christopher's formula is a vegetable glycerin base, so it doesn't taste that bad. Or you can mix it in a little smoothie or something like this and just give it to the kids a couple times a day. And it works. I mean, when Naomi was 2, I did this cleanse on her, and she passed worms. It was crazy. I'm like, I don't even know where kids get this stuff. But we had a dog, and, you know, you can just get this stuff anywhere. So, yeah, we have a children's parasite cleanse. I can email that to you. But it was just Dr. Christopher's Herbal Parasite Syrup, Diatomaceous Earth, and the LA Naturals Parasite Formula, I think it was. And you just combine them all together. So another question?
There were a couple more. One's from Ann Martin. She said she has a 19-month-old that has a fracture of a tibia.
Oh, man.
She wants to know things to help knit the bone back together faster or natural pain relievers. She's currently doing arnica internally, 6 cc homeopathic, and essential oils. Okay.
Yeah, those are good things. It's funny you mentioned knit bone. I mean, comfrey, one of the names of comfrey root, if you look it up, is bone knit. That's what comfrey is. It's bone knit. So comfrey is amazing for that. So there's the healing salve that's a comfrey-based salve. And then you can even get a bone and connective tissue formulas. We have a bone formula in our bulk section that has all that in it. And so it's a powder. So you can mix it into, make a tea out of it, or you can mix it into like applesauce or something so that they could take it. But you want to get some bone restorative herbs. So there's one called Bone Set, there's comfrey, there's oat straw, there's nettle, like any of those herbs that are high in calcium. Those are all good for rapidly accelerating healing. And then enzymes are really helpful too. The serrapeptase enzymes, we have one called Serazyme, Serraxym by US Enzymes. The Serazyme will heal the damaged tissue faster. So I always give it to people post-surgery. Anybody who has a sprain or strain or a muscle or injury or an athlete or something like that, those enzymes speed the healing as well. So hopefully you can try those couple things.
Awesome. And then Anna said, are there any supplements I can give my son for growth? He hasn't grown in a little over 2 years. He has low self-esteem because of his height, or could he be lacking certain nutrients? Wow.
So, yeah, probably want to do a consultation on that. There can be pituitary issues. That happens. So the endocrine system controls everything. That's why these hormones are released. The pituitary releases those growth hormones. So we probably want to look at some type of an endocrine problem here. And so maybe we can support the endocrine system, support the pituitary. Obviously, it's more than, there's a lot of erroneous, I think, beliefs out there. The medical system, they might be like, oh, he's under the percentile or whatever, and they try to feed him formula, and like they think feeding sugar formulas and all this stuff is the answer. It's so ridiculous. Obviously, there's another problem. So it's probably an endocrine imbalance. It could very likely be a pituitary issue. I'd probably want to know about history and other symptoms and stuff like that. But yeah, I definitely think there's things you could probably do.
Okay, and then Rebecca just sent in a question. How do you detox a 2-year-old properly? He has eczema.
Rebecca. Okay, so how do you detox a 2-year-old? I would love to get into all that right now, but for time's sake and the fact that we're having our health fair, June 8th and 9th, we're doing 3 straight classes on children's detoxification. I'm doing one on lab testing to check to see what's going on. I'm going to do a class on restoring, or I don't remember what it's called, but it's basically getting back your child's emotional and physical health through detoxification. And then BioRay is going to be here. They're flying in to do a whole presentation on how to detoxify children through their herbal products, which are amazing products. So you can detox a 2-year-old, and you can make the eczema go away, and you don't need steroid creams and all that stuff out there. The problem is weak guts, weak digestion, clogged lymphatic systems. It usually starts with mom. So mom, you can start to change. You can change your diet. The obvious stuff that everyone knows these days is you got to get the dairy out. You got to get the grains out. You got to get the complex sugars out. Those are the things causing the most problems. But it's blood toxicity. Eczema is blood toxicity. And so there's undigested food proteins, molecules that the baby's body can't handle, and so it's coming out through the skin. So if a mom's still breastfeeding, mom needs to clean up her diet. If the baby is 2 and not breastfeeding anymore, you really got to work on the child's diet, because their bodies clearly cannot process, metabolize, and eliminate dairy, grains, soy, a lot of nuts, and it could be leaky gut, it could be malabsorption, it could be, different things. But the bottom line is the system's congested and the body's pushing toxins out through the skin, and it has to start with a diet change. If you want to get simple, a 2-year-old, like we have a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old, lots of fruit, lots of veggies. Our girls love their salads. All the snacks are fruits. Yeah, once in a while we give them a little trail mix, or once in a while they have a little, we have meals that are chicken or fish with a little, veggies or whatever, but for the most part, we're like 90+% fruits and vegetables. Honestly, we rarely eat meat anymore, but we don't have it categorized ourselves as, vegan or vegetarian or anything like that. But clearly I feel like that's where the Lord's leading us, and our children are doing amazing. So our girls used to break out in rashes. The first child, we didn't know any of this. We were learning, we were trying to figure it out, but we did dairy, we did the raw milk thing. We fed our kids heavy foods after weaning, and oh my gosh, it didn't go well, trust me. Breaking out in rashes, dairy allergies, all kinds of issues. So now it's like we've cleaned all that up. They mostly eat tons of fruit, they eat some veggies, they have some nuts and seeds here and there, they love their salads, and they have fish or chicken once or twice a week. And they are thriving. They do amazing. They have no health issues. They're sharp as a whip, energy that's endless, no skin issues. Their skin's beautiful. So diet's huge. You got to understand that diet is everything here. But there's way more you can do for helping detox a child. And there's herbal formulas you can use. You need to open up their kidneys, their lymph. You need to heal their gut and their colon and any possible leaky gut issues or anything like that. So it gets deeper than that, but I at least wanted to give you the general principles.
Awesome. And do you want to tell them when our health fair is and how to sign up?
Oh, health fair's the 8th and the 9th, June 8th and 9th. You can sign up through Eventbrite. We have it posted on Facebook. We just sent an email out about it. It's on Eventbrite. But yeah, it's June 8th and 9th, so you want to check that out.
Awesome.
I had a couple other questions here.
Yep.
Is that okay?
Yep.
Are there more questions on there?
There is more, but I can wait.
Okay, let me get a couple more in here.
Sure.
Gut health for babies, infants. Yeah, I kind of touched on it briefly, but probiotics, we have a new one called Probonics that we're having good results with, and we got a new one coming in called Probiotic that's actually proven clinically in studies to kill mold, E. coli, and all kinds of stuff. So I'm super pumped about the probiotic. Gut health for babies and infants, the best thing is mama's breast milk. So if they're having any issues, if they're having colicky, they don't like the breast milk, they're having rashes or eczema, it's mom's milk, mom's milk, mom's milk. So mom's got to clean it up. So if you want to clean up baby, you got to clean up mama. So mommy needs to go to eating mainly fruits and vegetables, maybe a few nuts and seeds, maybe a few lean meats, and cut out the rest. Cut out the dairy, cut out the grains, cut out the sugars. But that's the biggest thing you can do to help out your baby. Because you can't give babies a lot of stuff. You might give them a probiotic, you might give them a few herbs in the mouth, but it's really mama who's going to determine the baby's health. Angela Lamb, stomach aches and gut pain. My son was off dairy, good, then ate ice cream, Why didn't you get the coconut ice cream? That's what we do. We know why his stomach hurt, but I didn't quite know what to do to help resolve the ache or help things pass more quickly and easily. We had him drink a kombucha and rest in bed, but not sure what to expect tomorrow. So yeah, again, our kids are weak. They're compromised. They can't handle dairy and junk food. It's obvious. You give the kids to it, and we're making them sick. We're hurting our kids by giving the things, these things just because we like them and they're pleasurable. You can switch to almond milk ice cream and coconut milk ice cream, and we have those things once in a great while, but still, it's not about that. It's about his system's compromised. He clearly has food allergies and food sensitivities, which means his gut's compromised, his lymphatic system's compromised, so we're never, ever, ever going to be benefiting or doing anything for our children by continuing to give them these things. So to overcome it more quickly, there's not a great answer to that because the body is congested to the point where it can't handle those things. And so you're basically forcing an immune response for the body to try to deal with this excessive thing that it sees as like an invader. That's what happens with leaky gut. And so you can't just help it go away right away. But the only thing you probably can do is you could have on hand, now obviously ideally you just stop the dairy, but on hand you could have digestive enzymes. And if you have enzymes that have like glutenase or lipase or things that help you digest dairy and fats and things like that, that's what's going to help, because that's what's going to clean up those protein molecules that are causing the reaction. So what that is that's protein molecules or the sugars, the lactase or the casein, that the system can no longer handle, that the body's reacting to. And so the kombuchas, that's fine. My girls, when they get an upset stomach, we've done a little ginger kombucha, and that seems to help them sometimes. But really, the only thing I know of that you could help them with right away is to have some digestive enzymes on hand that help you digest dairy products. But again, hopefully, I don't know, we've gone through all this, but how many times do we have to learn the lesson that it's not worth it to do these things that are hurting our kiddos? Instead, we need to be focused on how to heal them. And so that's why I get into the fruits and the veggies and going clean and eating light, and that's what's going to heal our kids. And if you want to have a treat, make it special. Do it once a month and make it coconut ice cream. But this whole, I grew up every day eating dessert after meals. Gosh, what a disaster. Look where we're at today because of the choices we made. So, all right, so hopefully that helps. Let's see. Alan, Alicia Widows, a major health concern I have is my children eating. When you are out and about, how do you handle food choices? Like at church, they offer kids snacks. Homeschool groups. We pack our own lunches, but special events and community eating is hard. Do you have suggestions on how to handle that? Yes. So you move to a cave out in the middle of the woods, and you become hermits. And you don't tell anybody where you live. No, I'm just kidding. Honestly, it's really hard because the world is a mess. Our kids, again, they're 3 and 5, and we have to go to places all the time where we're like, oh, no, thank you. No, sorry. No goldfish for our kids, thank you. You go everywhere. You even go to church, and they're feeding kids goldfish and crackers and it's just processed junk. And it's just still mind-blowing that there's no understanding of this in our world, in our culture, even in the Christian community, that the things we're doing are detrimental and contrary to how God designed us to live. Genesis 1:29, Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve weren't picking goldfish off the trees and eating them. This stuff is junk, and we think it's okay. So I'm just being really real with you guys. This stuff isn't okay. So yeah, it's hard. You got to pack your own lunches. You got to be, we don't drop our kids off at the daycare or the church service place, and it's not just because of the food, but we want to be together as a family at church and stuff like that. But you just have to communicate and educate. And I know it's never going to be perfect, but if you drop your kids off and be like, hey, if you guys have snacks, our kids cannot have any of those snacks. And if you have to say, even if it's not true, if you have to say, well, our kids have allergies to things, and so please don't feed them your snacks, I would do what it takes to not let people feed your kids this junk food. Just to give you an example, I love telling this story, but Naomi, we were at this party, and the kids were sitting around eating s'mores on the campfire. Now, she'd never had any of this kind of stuff, right? But she wanted to be included, and she wanted to be a part of it. She wanted to have a s'more. Graham cracker, Hershey's chocolate, and a marshmallow. She ate it, and oh my gosh, her eyes lit up, and she thought that was the greatest thing ever. But I tell you what, the next 2 days, she didn't think it was so great because she vomited all day the next day. Okay? This stuff is not designed to go into the human vessel. Okay? This is a result of a weakened, sickened culture. Our vitality is lowered. It's just like smoking cigarettes. You can smoke cigarettes and get used to them. It doesn't kill you tomorrow. But this stuff is weakening our life force, weakening our children. why am I getting so excited right now? I mean, I can't imagine when I go talk at the health fair next month. I mean, I'm so passionate about restoring our kids' health, and I'm just tired of like our culture. It's not your guys' fault. It's our culture. It's the lies. It's the deception that it's okay to eat this junk food. So I really, I don't even remember what the question was, but yeah, so the world's confused. The people don't know how to feed our kids. And so you really have to be diligent about educating people, bringing your own foods, and doing the best you can at home. Because when my kids go out and if they have a little XYZ that's off the thing, it ain't a big deal because we do so good 98% of the time. So we don't overly stress about it. Katie Woods, I'm so glad this hasn't happened yet. I had another question. Cool. The Calm Kids multivitamin. It's fruity flavored. The only way my son will eat something is if it tastes fruity in a lollipop form. Do you think the heat of the candy and process will leave the vitamins unchanged or written in the nutritionalist? Thanks. I don't know. I give kids a multivitamin, not because they need a multivitamin, but they think it's fun and it's like their little treat. And yeah, they're full of sugar and they're fruit sugar, but you know, it's okay. But kids' taste buds are messed up. If you feed kids other things that isn't sweet, sugary, carby, starchy stuff all the time, their bodies will change, their taste buds will change. Our girls love all foods. They love a wide variety of fruits and vegetables. They're not just addicted to sweet, sugary things. And so you just have to change it over time. I would say fruit and vegetables is way more powerful than taking some like candied multivitamin. So I would just suggest eating well. We do smoothies, like I'm going to talk about at the health fair, smoothies that have greens and minerals and herbs and different things in it. And you can mix all this kind of stuff into a smoothie. So you don't have to give the kids the candied multivitamins and stuff. Okay, I got a couple more. Jennifer Griffin, my children rarely get sick, but a stomach virus is always going around in my area. What to do during and after my kids get sick? It's up to you if you really feel like you need to do anything. I mean, I just feel like I'm a parent with 3 kids. I feel like there's this unwarranted fear of sickness and disease. Like, what do we think is going to happen? Do we really believe that those stories of the 1 or 2 kids out of 100 million that somehow died from the flu or whatever is like that's going to happen to us? I mean, that has to be an extreme case, an extreme situation, a weak, extremely weak kid, or maybe in their ICU in the hospital, and who knows how this stuff actually happens, but it's super, super rare. And so a virus is just have antivirals. And we give our kids herbs every day. I guarantee you they're getting antiviral herbs every day. Now, is that going to completely protect them from ever getting anything? No, and I don't care. I mean, we got hammered with sickness last winter. I don't care. It wasn't a big deal. Was it fun? No. Is it fun cleaning up vomit all over the place? No. But like, it's part of the natural process of being a parent. We don't have to fear it. You don't have to run to the doctor. You don't have to get some antibiotic. You don't have to like find out exactly what it is so they can prescribe the right drug or antibiotic. Just let the process happen. So antivirals that you can do every day, all year long, would be elderberry, olive leaf, echinacea. I mean, you can do these things on a regular basis. Give them to kids in the little liquid herbal tinctures and have them take it, and they love it, and it's easy, and it's great prevention. And then I always tell people, like, if the kid gets sick, then you just up the dosage. You just do more olive leaf, more oregano, more whatever else I said, echinacea. And just do it every couple of hours and just keep hitting it. And so the key is a strong immune system. And kids getting sick and the body responding with an immune response and developing antibodies to counter that sickness is what makes children stronger for the future. So let's stop worrying about it. Let's just trust how God designed the body to work, because like he's the smart one. He's the good designer. We don't need to try to do all these man-made things. So let's see. Denise Krause said, what do you recommend after formula, not milk? Yes, thank you. I don't know where we got the idea that taking the milk of 1,000+ pound animal and giving it to our 8-10 pound babies made sense. Like, I don't know how that concept ever came about. It makes zero sense whatsoever. Milk that's so heavy in fat and protein and sugar and designed to turn a little baby calf into 1,000 pound count in a year, and we're giving that to our children, and our children are already compromised and not healthy. It's crazy. So no animal milk needs to be consumed by a human baby. So what do you recommend after formula? Fruit's the best thing. High energy, high in vitamins and minerals. All kids love fruit. So we do fruit. You can do steamed pureed veggies. You just do fruit and veggies. That's all you really need. I mean, it's all people really need. You can do greens and add some of that stuff in there, and maybe some chicken broth if you're into that kind of stuff. That's fine. But best thing after formula and the best transition after formula for kids is fruit, because they love it and it's great for them and it's good energy, and that's where I would start. That's what we're doing with our 13-month-old Nathan. He's a 13-month-old boy. He's a big dude, and he'll pound a whole mango. Like, you cut up the mango and he's like bam, bam, bam. He just hits that mango and he's happy, you know. So kids love fruit and it's great for them. Erica, Meriwether, I need help with my picky eaters. Yeah, I know. I don't have, I'm running on time, but best thing is give them healthy options every time, and they have to choose to eat. You know, we create picky eaters. I mean, why else would a kid be picky? Kid's only picky because he's been given sugars and starch and carbs and crackers and goldfish and sweets, and, you know, so of course that's what he's going to want. So you take all that stuff away and you give them fruits, you give them vegetables. Make fruit they're sweet. Give them fruits, vegetables. Give them chicken, turkey, fish if you're eating meat, eggs, and just cut out the rest. And if he screams and he doesn't want to eat, then he doesn't eat. I mean, and then when he's hungry, he'll eat. So I know that sounds oversimplified, but I've seen it. I've seen kids that would eat two things. I had a kid that would only eat hot dogs and macaroni and cheese. He literally would eat nothing else. And I said, stop feeding him those things and make your meals as a family that are healthy, and he'll eat when he's ready to eat. Took him 3 days, but now he ate and he's perfectly fine. He eats everything now, and he's going to be way healthier for it. So you have to make your picky eaters unpicky by only giving them healthy options and allowing them to choose into when they eat, and you have to educate them. I mean, we tell our girls, if you eat fruits and vegetables and greens, you'll grow long hair and your nails will be, and your skin will be pretty, because that's the truth. And if you eat goldfish and sweets and candy, and I don't care if the other kids are eating it, but it's going to make you sick, it's going to make your tummy hurt. Do you remember when you ate that s'more? Yeah, you remember what happened when you ate that s'more, right? So this is gross, degenerative, acidic food that is not healthy for the human body. And you need to educate your kids, and that's what we're going to do at the health fair. Educate the kids that they're going to be able to run faster, jump higher if they eat the foods that God made for them in the Garden of Eden, and they're going to get sick, and they're going to be weak, and they're going to be falling apart like our culture is if we continue to feed the kids these junk that we're feeding them today. So boom, I'm off my bandwagon. Were there any other questions?
Yeah, how many do you have time for?
Just give me
45.
Give me one more, because I gotta
Sure.
get ready for my appointments.
Okay. This one you may have covered a little bit, but if you had anything to add, this is just saying from Rachel how to deal with gluten and wheat allergies.
So Rachel, yeah, gluten and wheat allergies. Damaged, leaky gut. I call them toxic tunnels. So it's undigested food getting into the bloodstream. So if they're allergic to those things, I know people don't like the answer, but just stop eating it. Stop eating it. It's causing an immune system response in your child. It's not healthy for them. Their body doesn't want it. Their body's reacting to it. You just got to cut it out. So long term, you have to heal the body. You have to heal the gut. So you can do enzymes to help digest. You can we have a stomach tea and different things to soothe, coat, heal a damaged, leaky gut. We got that Restore, that liquid Restore product that heals a leaky gut. CBD oil has been proven to tighten the junction and heal leaky gut. So you can do things to heal that damaged intestinal tract, but understand that the food allergies is from undigested food proteins leaking out into the lymph and other parts of the body where they should not be, causing an immune response, and you don't want to keep doing that to your child and having these immune system flare-ups, because they're never going to get well. Is there another one you got, or?
Yeah, let me just pull it up here real quick.
I'll take another one or two.
Okay, sure. So, this one is from Rebecca. She says, what is the cause of a constant runny nose on a child?
Constant runny nose on a child. Well, so mucus is the lymphatic system. the mucosal systems. So if the child's constantly mucousy, the body's constantly trying to get rid of something. Why does the body create mucus? To get rid of something. When you get a cold and you get that thick, snotty mucus, blah, the body's fighting infection, and the residual of that battle of the infection is the body creating mucus to eliminate the toxin or the bacteria, whatever it is. So chronic sinus infections are common. People don't realize it, or maybe they run to the doctor and get an antibiotic and thinks everything's okay, but people are having nasty bacteria and fungal infections in the sinus cavity. So we have some enzymes called Seazyme, SEA, and they actually eat up mucus, and so they help destroy mucus in the body. The Sinio-Rega, the sinus spray, will help clear out any infections in the sinus cavity. But the constant runny nose is because the mucosal system is trying to get rid of something. Could be seasonal allergies, so you could do bentonite clay or that Hello Blossom formula we have or something, because maybe there's an allergen in the air that's causing it. But something's irritating, whether it's an allergen or an infection or something, causing the body to create mucus because it's trying to get rid of something.
Want another?
Sure, one more. Last one.
Last one. Jenny, we'll get to you afterwards on yours since it's a little bit off topic, but we'd love to answer that later. Amanda says, what can I feed my 6-month-old to make sure she has lots of good gut bacteria?
So what can I feed my 6-month-old? Again, I would just say fruit, and then if you think the child has a gut bacteria issue, you can give it. There's children's probiotics out there. We have an infant probiotic, the Humarian Probonics one. They have a kids version. That probiotic, that new one we have coming, is a kids version. So any kind of a good infant or kids probiotic, I think, is fine for like extra support. But really, they don't need it. They just need good healthy food. So again, your mashed up carrots or sweet potato or like your vegetable soups or your fruits. Again, I mentioned it earlier. Children that are 6 months and older are going to love and thrive on fruit, strawberries and mangoes and berries and all that kind of stuff. And so you can safely give those to your kids, and they're going to love it, and they're going to do well with that. So. All right, well, thanks. God bless. That was good. I'm excited. I love the topic of kids. And we'll be here next Thursday, I'm sure, for another Q&A, 1 o'clock next Thursday. See you then. God bless.